Now what's often very interesting also is to vertically tile the Visual Basic Editor and the Excel so that you can see the code being written as you record a macro, and then you can start to equate your actions with various statements. So what I'm going to do here is, first of all, I'm going to right click somewhere down in my taskbar and I'm going to ask it to show the windows side by side. And now I can see my Visual Basic Editor and I can see my Excel on the same screen. So that I can see the code more clearly, I'm actually going to close the Project Explorer and I'm going to close the Properties window. Alright, now what I'd like to do is record another macro. So I'm going to select a range of cells, and that's A15 to A20. And I'm going to record another macro, and as I record the macro, I'll be able to watch the code evolve. From the Developers tab, I'm going to click the Record Macro button. This macro, I'd like to call it Merge Vertical, and as I've said before, you're not allowed spaces in the name of the macro. This time I'd also like to assign a shortcut key. I have to include the Control key, so I'll click in the small box and I'll press Shift M. And Control Shift M has been assigned to this macro. This macro will be stored in this workbook and only work in this workbook. And if I wanted to, I could put a description this time. So I'll put Designed by Cathi. And I'll click OK. Now when I do so, I'll be able to see in my Visual Basic Editor the code suddenly appear. Now I want to record actually merging and vertically rotating these cells. There's a variety of ways of doing this, but I'm just going to go to the Home tab in the ribbon and I'm going to click the Alignment dialog box launcher. What I'd like to do here is I'd like to rotate this text 90 degrees, so I'll drag this little red diamond up 90 degrees and I'd like to merge the cells. I've only chosen two options in here, but you're going to see that the code gives me every single option in this window. It's going to record the horizontal setting, the vertical setting, the wrap text setting, the shrink to fit setting, etc. I'll just click OK. And see how it's recorded all the settings, even though really all I did was merge the cells and rotate 90 degrees. What I'd like to do now is stop recording. Another way to stop recording, besides going to the Developers tab and clicking the Stop Recording button, is to hit the little blue square on the status bar to stop recording. And I've stopped recording my macro. What I'd like to do now is just look at this code in a little bit more detail. I can tell when somebody's actually written a code using a macro because it's very verbose. A lot of statements are surplus to requirement. And so what I'm going to do is take out some of these statements. For example, I don't need horizontal alignment, vertical alignment, wrap text. So I'll delete those 3 lines, just with the delete key. I also don't need add indent, indent level, or shrink to fit, or reading order actually. So I'll delete these 4 lines. Really, all I want to do is change the orientation to 90 degrees and merge the cells. This is also a perfect example of a WEND statement. A WEND statement is a with and an end with. And this is when it's doing several things with a selection of cells. Now just to check that this still works, I'm going over to my Excel and I might highlight A25 to A30. And I'll press the shortcut key combination Control Shift M to see if it still works. And it still works. I've merged my cells and I've set them to 90 degrees rotation.